So a couple of days ago, I featured an article in Barron's from a fairly neutral journalist who's been covering Tesla from an investor point of view for many years. He was blown away by the incredible progress and capabilities Tesla's A showing with FSD and B, FSD 12.5, after more than 1,000 miles of driving in a single week put on display, including being polite, acting human-like. The standout quote from that article: he wasn't lying when referring to Elon Musk talking about the step change in capabilities with FSD 12.5. However, that's not the kind of stuff that's going to get clicks and views. As we know, it bleeds, it leads. So how's this? Tesla Analyst uses, quote, full self-driving, nearly crashes. Looking forward to hearing this, and also curious as to whether or not this analyst happens to own Tesla stock, be short Tesla stock, have some buddies who are short Tesla stock, or not own Tesla stock. Just putting that out there.
When I said on social media you were coming on the program, many people pointed out that the version of FSD you were using was 12.3.6, not the latest 12.5, which rolled out starting Friday last week and in a limited release through the weekend. So let's start here. Give me the basics of the test you conducted, where you conducted it, whose Tesla you were using, and the parameters around it, please.
Yeah, that's a very fair question. Thanks for having me. So both the test initially after the Q1 earnings report and the Q2 report were done, under very similar conditions: sunny, dry, easy to see, easy to operate. This was a Tesla owned car.
Okay, the disclosures: does not own Tesla stock. Family does not own Tesla stock. Firm does not own more than 1% Tesla stock. Apparently just a neutral third-party observer who understands if it bleeds, it leads. Therefore, if you approach the media saying, I nearly got into a crash with Tesla FSD, please let me talk to you, they'll do so, and they'll promote whatever the fuck company you work for and or business you own. Oh man, that's not actually how the media works, which is why they never introduce people and explain where they're from, what they do, what they've got to sell you, what book they just released, and oh wait, no, that's what they do.
This was, I approached Tesla as if I were any other potential buyer. So I went to a Tesla showroom, signed up, and plugged in a relatively local address about 7 miles away.
Wait a second. Wait. So bro doesn't own a Tesla. Bro went to a Tesla showroom specifically so he could do a test drive on FSD? I mean, hey, that's good research, or a great way to tell people you nearly crashed. I wonder if he's got video evidence, by the way. I know I'm pretty skeptical, but I mean, after years and years of relentless fight and people trying to crush Tesla stock and manipulating the narrative, makes you wonder.
From the showroom, someplace near where I live in suburban New York City, and that was the setup, and it mostly worked well in both cases.
And William, just real quick.
Look at that. It mostly worked well in both cases. But the headline from Doomberg here: analyst uses full self-driving, nearly crashes. So now I'm wondering, is it the analyst who brings this narrative, or a Doomberg trying to create a mountain out of a molehill? Let's find out. The suspense is killing me.
When did this test take place?
Sure. So the first one that I tried was right after Q1, when Musk first issued this sort of directive to investors or potential investors that they must see this in order to determine whether they should invest in the company. So that was about a quarter ago. And
I got to give the guy credit. He did what he was told to do, which is an important, critical piece of information. At least watch some videos, if not try this off for yourself, to understand the opportunity relating to autonomy, what Tesla's currently capable of doing, their lead, and so on. Well done so far.
The most recent one was done on Friday.
Okay.
And I'd like to acknowledge that, we did not have version 12.5. I have asked the company for access to it. Hasn't been made available to me yet. I think they will. It just it wasn't available when I went to the dealer, or to the showroom, and I was using 12.3.6. That's correct.
William, did Tesla respond specifically to the research report that you posted?
I reached out to management in a proactive effort to not hide from them, because I think it's important when one is critical of technology or a solution or a financial aspect of a company, that it not be confused with an attack, or especially something that's unfair. And there was a reply, and it wasn't really substantial other than, we understand your view.
Dude, I'm kind of confused about how this is progressing here. Title: Tesla Analyst uses full self-driving, nearly crashes. The title on screen: Tesla Analyst nearly crashes with FSD. Yet we're hearing from the guy who apparently published a report, the same guy who's just said that it performed fairly well in both tests. What?
And it's okay to have a difference of opinion.
We're actually showing some William, just really quick, we're showing some file footage of FSD, which comes from Tesla. It's not the trip that you took. And so I'm just stating that because you used a Tesla sort of showroom or dealership vehicle, you don't actually have access to the footage from your trip, do you?
That's correct. I tried to take, I actually had my son with me taking some videos, but unfortunately, we didn't capture the most interesting and most exciting parts of the trip.
How convenient.
Or when I avoided a near crash.
One of the things you tested was the ability to look away from the wheel, right? And so I have 12.5 on my own Tesla at home, and I've put on X, for example, my experiences with it, but it doesn't require me to have my hands on the wheel. It does require me to stay focused. The camera in the cabin judges my ability to be attentive. You tested by turning your head away for 20 to 40 seconds. My question around that is whether NHTSA has reached out to you, because that's one area that they've looked at.
NHTSA has not reached out to me. I was very surprised that the car allowed me to be not just distracted. I mean, my head was completely turned away. I was looking, in the back seat, and
I just have to take a moment here. It's pretty hilarious that Ed's asking, has NHTSA contacted you? I mean, what's this? Who cares? Why would NHTSA be reaching out to some random person who's tried this software? But what I'm finding hilarious is the conversation right now, being so surprised that the vehicle allows you to momentarily take your eyes off the road. Ready for me to point out the obvious? If you are not in a Tesla vehicle, there is no driver monitoring software. You could do whatever the fuck you want. People have to understand this point. Just about every vehicle on the roads, other than a Tesla, doesn't have any form of driver monitoring. If you're not paying attention, the car doesn't know. But I'm sure Ed or the analyst will mention that. Well, at least it does have some driver monitoring, because if I'm in another car and I'm turned around or distracted, I'll just crash because there is no driver monitoring, right?
Luckily I was able to do this because I brought my son with me, and I said, hey, tell me if there's anything dangerous about to happen. We were on a relatively underpopulated area and on the highway, so it was fairly predictable, and I trusted him to give me enough warning. The car allowed me to do this for something on the order of 30 seconds, which 60 miles an hour, that's like a half a mile. I mean, you could do a lot of damage in that space. That was sort of stunning. When I got back to the showroom,
if he finds that stunning, just wait until he finds out if he's not in a Tesla. He could do it for 3 years, 3 hours, 3 months, 3 minutes, doesn't matter.
Service associate told me, oh, that's demo mode, and that's to make the experience more useful and perhaps easy for an inexperienced user of this technology. For me, it was a little frightening.
Right.
It allowed me to be that distracted.
William, there are many on social media who are sort of bemoaning that you didn't use 12.5.1. There are many that acknowledge 12.5 also has yielded some quite worrying scenarios for those that have tested it. I want to get to the big picture, which is that Musk said on both first quarter and second quarter earnings call, to judge whether Tesla can in the future solve for autonomy, go out and use FSD for yourself. The conclusion that I read in your research note is you don't see the jump, right, from a consumer that's using FSD, and there will be more iterations of it in their car, to a world where Tesla operates a fleet of robotaxis itself. Do I have that right?
I think it's a very challenging thing to know with certainty, right? There are certainly improvements from version to version. As it stands in version 12.3.6, this is totally inadequate to solve autonomy, if there is such a thing as solving it.
Yes.
Full autonomy is not there with 12.3.6. Do I anticipate it could be there with 12.5.1 or some later version? I would say that's a maybe. I think for me, the big question is the near accident that I experienced. What was the failure mode? I think that's
William, may I jump in here, please? Let's go through the specifics of that. You were approaching an intersection at speed. There was a vehicle in front of you making a right-hand turn, and you write in the note it didn't complete that turn. So just explain literally what happened and how you or your son reacted.
Before we hear this explanation from William, I can't wait to remind everybody that just coincidentally they didn't happen to get footage of this alleged incident. Not saying it didn't happen, but I mean, if you got your son with you to film, just get him to film the whole ride, uncut. Hello? Duh. Now, I also just want to point something out, some possibilities before we hear this explanation, because my spider sense tingles a little bit. Given the fact that the vehicle can react much faster than a human, it literally knows how much mass it has, the velocity, how much braking needs to be applied to stop in time, there are many situations in which a human with human reflexes, much slower than the vehicle, may intervene unnecessarily because they personally need the extra reaction time. And sometimes we see this factored in when people say, I nearly crashed. Oh, wait, hang on. You know what? Actually, I didn't really nearly crash. I just panicked a little bit. The car was fine. It turns out everything was fine. I'm not suggesting that's what happened here, but just want to put that out there. There's definitely a possibility what we're about to hear is, well, the car was supposed to turn and it didn't turn, and the Tesla was flying ahead really fast, and so I had to take over and slam on the brakes because otherwise the car would have crashed and killed everybody. And that is possible, but it's also possible, if this is what we're about to hear, that the vehicle would have braked in time. He intervened earlier because he doesn't have the reflexes of a computer on wheels. And this may have, in fact, been a non-issue. After all, we're hearing a near crash, nearly crashed, not did crash. So it's all hypothetical. Anyway, over to you, William. Please tell us more about this near crash and why it's worthy enough of jumping in the media and publishing a report and so on.
Yeah, so it's slightly different from how you describe. It was in a very congested downtown street in a suburb. We were lined up, stopped at a light. Light turned green. I think I was second in line. The car in front of me progressed, making a right turn, but it didn't quite complete it. So I was the second car in the line, and as the car in front of me moved off to the right, the Tesla just, it reacted as though it was all clear and just started accelerating. And so the failure mode would have been, we would have hit the back right corner of the car in front of us.
Bro, are you fucking kidding me? The video ends there? We would have hit the back of the car in front of us? That's it? They cut the video there? Now, funnily enough, isn't it? I kind of predicted ahead of time we might be about to hear a story how William intervened, otherwise there would have been a collision. Now, we'll never know. There's no footage, but riddle me this. In a situation where there's a car in front of you, supposed to turn, doesn't complete the turn, and the vehicle that you're supervising, at least according to this, begins to accelerate, exactly how much reaction time does a human have in that situation? Oh, fuck, it's about to crash, to intervene, versus how much time would the vehicle have had to go, oh, dickhead still hasn't finished turning, better slam the brakes on. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the vehicle would have had a much quicker reaction to a situation like that and isn't likely to have been going to crash. Now, maybe it would have crashed, but it didn't. And I've got a funny feeling here. William may, in fact, have just jumped the gun a little bit, as you should, because you've got to be overly cautious with this software and assume it's incompetent and dangerous. That's why it still needs supervision. You know what I'd love? The data from the vehicle to see what it would have done if the intervention didn't occur. I wonder if Tesla's got that and they could pull that. We're very curious. And it is such a shame that William and his son weren't able to capture this moment. I'm just kidding. It's not a shame because William still managed to get on Bloomberg. Logo in the background, details on screen, purpose served. And a suggestion, William, next time you've got your son in the car filming FSD, film the whole fucking trip. So in summary, Analyst, who doesn't own Tesla stock, has no family who owns Tesla stock, and firm doesn't have more than 1% position in Tesla stock, alleges that FSD nearly crashed, doesn't provide evidence despite the fact that his son was there to film. It appears that he intervened in a situation where he thought it was possible the vehicle might crash, keeping in mind that the vehicle is a computer on wheels and has computer-fast reflexes, not human reflexes. Not to say that there couldn't have been a crash, but boy, if we get this amount of coverage for allegations from an analyst testing an old version of FSD who claimed that he had to intervene once, just imagine the absolute shitstorm when the first legal Tesla Robotaxi actually gets involved in an actual accident. If you're a Tesla investor, no pun intended, but make sure you brace for impact for that one. It'll be a media shitstorm. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, it has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. Plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game's improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.